I thought it was only on the website.
Same. The website has so many different links on there though. So it took me. It says the webtoon, there's the YouTube, the webtoon, the Tumblr, Twitter, Discord. I think this is a Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah. Excitement.
I know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna give Perry till 45, and then I'll just start, and then they can just hop in.
Okay. Did you check
Yeah.
it? Like, did you call them or anything? Or
Yeah, I was like, hey, are you good to go?
oh no.
No response. Perry, I hope you're okay, buddy. So, have you guys seen any good movies lately?
Not really.
Yeah. I went to see John Wick 4 without seeing the other ones, but then I realized I went with Michaela and Amir, but I realized I was way too tired, so they kind of just let me sleep through the movie. I was just so tired from working. I've worked like, even though I'm working one job, they have me at different sites, so I just been tired.
What do you
Supposed to watch
do?
the Mario movie this weekend.
I mean, you went to see the Mario movie?
I was supposed to.
I need to see it so badly, but I'm broke. I
Dang.
also work in retail, but I,
Oh, okay.
I got promoted to be a manager, and we do multiple different gift shops down in the city of Philadelphia, and I'm just everywhere at this point. Even though I only been working like 4 different other shops,
Wow.
we just
That's
get
a lot.
we just get really really busy, especially my main site, which is like across the street from Liberty Bell. So we're just a tourist rest stop basically.
Oh, okay.
What do you do, Tom? Tam? Wait,
Um,
Tom.
it's Tam. It can go either way, honestly.
Okay, just want to make sure. But go on.
Tom.
Yeah, Tom. It makes it sound like so posh in a good way.
I love it.
Oh, but I recently like graduated, like, because I had to do another semester because like all my credits didn't transfer over. So I took a little bit of a break and I'm just now like going through like interviews for stuff.
Well, congratulations on graduation.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. How have things been on your end, Eve?
Oh, I'm a busy bee. Um, yeah, I'm still working at this sign place over in Boyertown. I'm looking to get a new job in graphic design that's a lot closer to me. Um, I just had an interview. I think it went pretty well. They said they're gonna talk about next steps. So it is the kind of work that I want to do, like with my degree. They're saying like they have a brand identity. They're kind of looking to expand their look. Just to kind of put it in layman's terms. Um, I got this going on. I have my film account that I'm trying to keep up on. Um, I'm helping a friend publish a poetry collection that he's working on. Yeah, lots going on.
That's a lot. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you alive?
Ramadan just ended, so I went from being like extremely busy to just the regular kind of busy, I guess. So I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
And I hope you get the job though.
Me
Same.
too. Thank you. I need you guys to pray for me. I need to
You're gonna come
leave
working
this
there.
job immediately.
Do you
That
hate it?
job has been chaos for you.
Yeah.
Eve's boss is weird.
Weird how.
He's I don't think I've ever worked at a place where the manager has like this level of like contempt for the people that work for him. Um, he doesn't trust any of us like at all. He has cameras everywhere. Um, People who work on like computer stuff, he wants us to download this program where like he can track what it is you're doing, like down to the mouse click. Um, I didn't download it because like that's just absurd. I'm not doing the
Yeah,
job
no,
that was hired to
100%.
do. I'm manning the printer or 3D printer as well as like design stuff. So I'm doing a lot of like running around back and forth. The turnover is ridiculous. People just come and go like it's a revolving door. So people are constantly having to like cover positions that they're not qualified for. Yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
ridiculous.
geez. I mean, that is like, I don't know, that's so weird. Just like the first thing you mentioned, where it's like, just they just don't trust anyone. Like, how are you running a business and like not being able to, like, it sounds so disorganized too.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's just a guy who he's the owner, but like he doesn't know what happens in the place like in the day to day because he's never around. And then when he does show up, he tries to like control everything.
Jeez. You need to get out of there.
Yeah, I can't work with him no matter how much he offers me. He'd be like, "Well, I'll give you like $28, $28, 28 an hour, 30 an hour." It's like, no, it's not the money is not the problem. It's you.
No. That's not worth it at that point.
But yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
what's going on in my life.
Oh. That's still cool though. Like, I remember like even like seeing this podcast being made and like you said you have your own YouTube channel and stuff. Like that's crazy that like you're like still so active outside of like your job doing like art and creative endeavors.
I'm a workaholic. I have to be busy. I have to be doing
Oh,
things.
that's valid.
Yeah, me and Perry wanted to do this for a long time. Like we've been talking about it since October. I'm just really happy that we finally started it.
Yeah, 100%. And like y'all hit the ground running. Like you didn't just like make a podcast. You even made a logo and everything and like have an Instagram and like all this other stuff. Like it's like I'm pretty sure this is gonna go like pretty far.
Yeah, two designers. I mean, we had to. We had
And
like a
it
whole
came out great.
brainstorming session trying to come up with a name and then a logo, and now we got all
Oh
this,
yeah,
and it's great.
the whole shebang.
Hmm.
How did you come out with the logo? Are you both, is it because you're both haters without a cause?
We are both haters, yes, but we actually had a whole list of names. I don't know if I have it or Perry has it, but I think the finalists were we had haters without a cause. One of them was 0% approval rating. We really like that one. Let me see if I can find the list. I know we have it in like text messages and stuff. I remember we put an Instagram poll saying like, which one of these would you listen to? I think yeah, the people ended up choosing haters without a cause.
They're both pretty creative. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we had I want to say close to like 30 names.
Whoa. How long did the brainstorm session take? That's so many.
It was a couple hours. We met up at like this restaurant. We were like coming up with names. Perry had like this notebook while we were eating. Oh, so we had Pretty Jaded cuz Perry goes by PJ a lot. That ended up being the name of our So Pretty Jaded Studios, that's like our joint name, so to speak, and then Haters Without a Cause ended up being the name of the show. We had 0% approval rating, and then we also had The Power of Hate.
God.
That one ended up getting 0 votes. The people did not like that one.
The power of hate overcame people, and they hated that one. That's pretty good though. I like that one.
Oh, yeah. So me and Perry both ended up doing a poll, and then for my poll, 0% approval rating won out, 8-5, and then for Perry, Haters Without a Cause won out. So we ended up trying to do logos for both. We found that it was easier to make a logo for Haters, so we ended up going with that. We still have the sketches.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be happy to send them in Discord.
I would love to see them. It's always so interesting seeing designers and like the rough drafts and then like somehow coming up with this like crazy finished product, and it's like, wow, how did you get there?
A lot of iterations this went through. Some of mine, some of Perry's. Our styles really came together here, I would say.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Oh, Tess is muted. That's okay, Tess. I'm sending the logos in Discord so you can see.
Yay. Oh. Oh, why spades?
Crazy.
I love how creative y'all got with the fonts. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we had some fun with it. And the one you'll see in the final video, that is the current one.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a heart. Because we may be haters, but we are also lovers at the end of the day.
Aw, I love that. I don't know, they all look really cool. But I do love the logo now. It's like pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty gas.
I've returned. Oh, what's happening?
Welcome
Ooh,
back.
heart. Thank you.
Logos.
Oh. My instant thought, I saw a heart, and my instant thought was Spinel.
Oh yeah, the upside down heart.
Mm.
Yeah, we were thinking like, hey, how about a spade? Didn't go
I like
anywhere
that
though.
in the spade.
I think we can get started, and then Perry can catch up. I'm pretty sure they're not dead, right? Are we confident they're not
I'm
dead?
hoping they're not dead.
Okay.
I'm also hoping they're okay.
Yeah, are you guys good to go?
I'm good to go.
Yep.
All right.
Do
Welcome.
we all sound
everyone.
fine and everything?
Huh?
I said, do we all sound fine and everything?
Yeah, I did a little test record, and the audio was not weird like it was the last time. So I'm gonna assume we're okay.
Okay.
But hello everyone. This is episode 6 of Haters Without a Cause, and with me today, I have two very special guests. In this corner, we have Tam and Tesana.
Hello.
Hi.
Tam, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just kind of going through the week. How are you?
No, this isn't about me. This is about you guys. Tess, what?
Okay,
How
I
are you
take that
doing
back.
today?
I am all right.
You guys excited to be on the show?
Very.
A lot, yeah.
I miss podcasts.
I've wanted to have both of them on as guests for a while now. Tess is actually like a partial inspiration to me because he had a podcast with two of our other friends. It was wasn't it called the Jump Off Point?
Yeah, the jump off point. We still have our stuff on Spotify. It's in there.
Oh, I'll have to put
Ooh.
that in the description. Like, yeah, check out the Jump Off Point when you have the time.
Just
Um,
know that it is pretty old, and hopefully we plan to one day revive it. But I feel like the stuff we have up there right now is pretty still good.
yes, I was a guest on one of the episodes, and I will say the opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect current opinions because this was like 3 years ago. But
Yeah, this is before, like slightly before COVID.
yep. But that's where I
During
learned all
COVID, but
about
before.
podcasting.
Hmm.
So yeah,
I'm
check out
glad to be
the Jump Off
inspiration.
Point.
I gotta check it out now.
Yeah, watch the one with me
I'll look
in
forward.
Only yours, and that's
Only
it.
yours.
it. Yeah. Tam, I know you were not too sure about coming onto the show before. So what changed this time?
Um, I'm pretty excited to talk about the topic, which is cats. And I know my profile picture is a dog, but you know, I gotta show some cats some love too. And I don't know, I think it'd be cool to talk with y'all about it.
Tam is being modest. She is our leading expert on animated cats. So we had to have
No.
her on. I begged. I got on my knees and begged. I said, "Tam, please." And yeah, she came on and she said, "Yes, I'll do it." Um and now she's here and we're going to be talking about Lackadaisy.
Daisy.
Hang on, Perry just texted me saying I thought we were recording next weekend. No.
Oh no!
Hang on. We
Are they
recorded
busy today
2
then?
weeks ago.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
If anyone's confused, I gave them the link to the jump off point.
Yes, and I'm very excited to only watch the one with Eve in it, of course.
I don't even know which one it is actually. I gotta look at it.
It's episode 4, I think.
Episode 4. We have 14 episodes on here, and I did not know that.
Dang.
Like, I didn't know we got that far.
I like the cover art.
Thank you.
Damn, 14?
14. And I guess just for reference, I completely forgot this is before I started going by Tess. So I'm not bothered by anyone hearing the name, but I was just saying, like, if you sit there and like, oh, where's Tess? I'm there. It's just a different name. We forgot about that.
We're you were recording every week, right?
We were like recording every Sunday, and we never had. I don't know why that was our schedule. We never thought about it because we know this was, even though we were sophomores, this was still very challenging. We were tired.
Yeah, because you guys
We were
record kind of
recording
late.
every Sunday. Yeah, we were recording every Sunday, and we didn't know our. Sometimes our topics just kind of we just thought about them right then and there, and was like, well, what's this going to be called? And it's like, oh well, here we go. You know. But I feel like that made it a lot more also really realistic because that's how conversations go. We get off topic, we jump back on a topic, we go off topic again, and that's just also my form of talking because I feel like when you have conversations, they lead on to other ones. They're supposed to lead on to other ones, and it's also how you learn about people too.
You guys
Honestly,
had
I feel like that's what makes a good podcast. Sorry.
no, that's all right. I was saying you guys had really good chemistry, and you guys had a couple of guests on, right?
Mm-hmm. 'Cause I know we had you. We had a couple others. I feel like we had a guest almost. I feel like we had a couple guests on almost every episode. And I know we had brought back 2 more again at one point. But yeah.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. So will Perry be joining us?
That's a good question.
Perry is saying that they're not home, but they said
Oh,
that we can go on without them.
okay.
No.
I'm very, like, I'm trying to talk with you guys while also texting them. I guess we got kind of mixed up because we recorded an episode 2 weeks ago. It was part 2 of our Mandela catalog breakdown, but the audio got fucked up, so I wasn't able to edit it. So we're gonna have to re-record that episode.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was gonna be episode 6, but this ended up being episode 6 instead. So Perry thought we were going to add another week. I guess it was like miscommunication on my part because we record every other week. So I guess I thought that they thought that we were on the same page and we were all gonna record today. And I was like, no, I got Tam and Tess booked for today. They're here.
I took off.
I guess we're gonna have to go on without them. Perry, if you hear this, I'm so sorry.
We love you.
It's
Be
okay.
in our memory.
I'll act for 2. I'll pretend to be myself and Perry.
Oh God.
So anyway, guys, what did you think of Lackadaisy? I thought we could go in a circle and sort of give like a short blurb of what we thought of it. I can go first, followed by Perry, followed by Tam, and then Tess. Is that all right with you guys?
Fine with me.
Okay, so Perry actually came to me with this, and I had no reference of what this is or the comic. I didn't know it was based on a comic. I thought this was just a one-off. Like this was something they were trying to turn into a show. But I watched it and I thought it was really, really neat. I fell in love with the characters instantly. The production, the music, the sound design, the acting, all of it is incredible. The animation is stellar. I'm ready to watch a show about this. I thought it was great. What did you think, Perry? Yeah, I thought it was really cool too. I really liked the animation and I really like the characters. And yeah, I'm excited to see more. Thanks a lot, Perry. Tam, what did you think of Lackadaisy?
Very insightful thoughts from you guys, but I completely agree. I really enjoyed the animation and just the colors and how so much narrative was fit into only a couple of minutes, and it's like I want to see this full blown too.
All right, Tess?
I'm just piggybacking off the same things basically because I honestly it's been a while since I've seen an animated show that I actually was excited for, and this one really, really just like I'm so excited for this. And it even pushed me to I'm going to probably read the webtoon and I don't care. The animation's amazing. I'm really stuck with animation, not only the animation, but also the acting. And I love that the setting it's put into. I'm so much in love with this so much. Just the pilot took me and I'm ready. I'm ready for it to fully just come out.
Wonderful. So, I kind of, if you guys are not familiar with the format, when it comes to, I guess, breakdowns, I thought we can go in chronological and, I'll give a little synopsis of what happened. And then if we find a place to discuss something, I sort of like pause and we talk about it.
Okay.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool. I say we get right into it. So I'm going to put the footage up on screen. We are in the Prohibition era. It is St. Louis, Missouri. It's the 1920s. You know, Prohibition is in full effect. We got like a stage curtain opening, and we see our first main character guy. He's a cat. He's playing the piano on an old bridge. He's not so much singing as he is just like reciting slam poetry while chiming away on his violin. I'm not entirely sure how meaningful these lyrics are, but I guess it's sort of like a tone setter, right? This is supposed to bring us into the era and sort of establish that this is a lighthearted thing. Well, this is a lighthearted character, even if the setting really isn't. But yeah, he's having fun. He's just he's sort of imagining he's on a set. He's got all this stage lighting around him. It's gold and glowing. And once he's done with this little number, we cut back to reality. It's late at night. It's dark. Our crew is they're grave robbing actually. I just want to point out how stellar the animation is already. I don't know how accurate the violin strumming is, but you know, it's really cool to watch. And this guy, all the characters are cats, and you kind of have these little moments of them exhibiting like cat-like behaviors. I think I like watching animated cats because like I own a cat, and it's fun seeing like how accurate it is to reality. Do you
Yeah,
guys have any thoughts
they're
on this
freaking
section?
adorable. They're adorable, and I'm not gonna hold you. Before I realized they were cats because of their little cat moments, I thought they were little foxes for some bad reason. Because their tails were so puffy, and I don't know what I imagined a cat's tail. I have a cat, so I don't know what I imagined the animated cat's tail to be, but they were just so big. So I was like, are they cats or are they foxes? And I was like, oh wait, they're all cats.
They're all pretty bushy, I'll say. Because my cat's tail is like, it's very long and stringy. But everyone kind of has like bushy tails.
It's kind of.
But
sorry, you
go
go.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. I don't know. I remember because I worked animating cats, kind of, sort of, for my senior thesis, and like for me, the hardest part was animating the tail, and it was like every time I would do it, it would come out so mechanic, and so like I don't know why, but that was my favorite part, which is such a weird like tiny thing, but like how flowy it is, and like seeing the cat's tails like when they're like scared or something, like seeing it puff up.
I hadn't thought of that. Like animating a cat's tail must be really hard to get right because the tail just kind of goes everywhere. You know, it's kind of like its own agent.
Yeah, it's like you have to give the character personality, and then you have to give their tail a personality.
Yeah, and a lot of
you're basically working on two different characters in one body.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of time a cat's tail, the way they move their tail, will reflect like how they're feeling. But,
take note, cat people that want cats, because
people who want
my cat thumps her tail when she's angry, but then yeah, that's true. Like little thumping. Your cat might be purring, but they're thumping their tail. They're not happy.
Aww. Yeah. I don't think I've seen a cat do that before.
My cat does it. Maybe it also depends on other cats, because she does it, but she'll still play with me. But when the dog's around, she does it, and it's like I can tell that she probably wants the dog away. But I also look at one of my friend's cats. His name is Rengoku, and he doesn't purr unless he's like alone in the room with you, but he doesn't really purr. He just kind of chitters. But he'll thump his tail when he's if you're like rubbing his stomach, he doesn't want it. He'll thump his tail before he actually like bites you.
Yeah, my cat, when she's upset, she kind of like
Mm.
flicks her tail against the floor. I'm like, you're trying so hard not to be mad right now.
It's so
She
cute
gives off
though.
the impression of someone who's
Yeah,
like, no, I'm fine. I'm not mad. And you just hear against the floor.
exactly.
uh,
Oh my god, Najima.
Najma. But yeah, this cat's name is
Um,
Rocky, by the way, the one who's playing the violin. And then down
okay.
in the grave. Oh, did you have something?
No, I was just, I couldn't remember his name, but I was just say with him, I feel like the introduction, he made a major introduction coming into the show, honestly. Because now we already see how silly this character is gonna be, or kind of like happy-go-lucky, kind of. If that makes sense.
He's a really good character to introduce you to this world. He's very
Mm-hmm.
charismatic. He's very
Yeah.
indicative of the time period. Yeah, he's just having fun. But the other two cats, there's a girl cat named Ivy and then an orange cat named Freckle. They are the ones.
Freckle.
Freckle is very cute. I talked about this with Tess. They are the ones actually doing the work, digging the grave, and they're like, "Hey, we're still down here. Can you help us out?" But Rocky says like, I have these spaghetti arms, so I will provide the ambiance. And he like falls over, and his violin gets messed up. No, he actually starts to say, "I provide the ambiance." Then he falls. Then we have like a 20-second long sequence of him like tumbling through the ground. He gets back up, and then without missing a beat, he just continues. um, he doesn't let anything get him down. The hat also falls on Freckles' head. I thought that was funny. So Ivy says, if you're not gonna grab a shovel, I guess you're just gonna have to double as the dirt rag.
Oh my gosh.
So Freckle, he's digging away, and then he's like, "Hey, I think I found something." And Rocky's like, "Oh, let me see. Because if this isn't the real thing, we're gonna have some explaining to do to the family of Herbin Hapfenspiel. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. He pulls out a eulogy from the newspaper. Apparently this guy, if you read it, this guy died from getting hit by a calliope, and his body flew into the river. Very tragic.
Oh.
And now they're robbing this guy's grave, but for what? Maybe we'll find out. So yeah, they're doing some digging, and they hear some spooky noises, and he's like, "Oh my god, what is that?" And Rocky's like, "No, they're spirits. We're trespassing on their turf, but we're gonna keep digging." And at one point, I found this interesting. Freckles says, "I wish my mom was here." And Rocky says, "What? That force of nature, she'd stop us dead." And Freckles says, "I know." He's not as excited to be here, we'll say.
You can tell Freckle does not want to do this.
Yeah. I mean, look at what they're doing. They're grave robbing. It's highly illegal.
Yeah, that made me question him. Like, how did Freckle get dragged into this? They just drag him in. Did he actually agree?
Yeah, I think you have here what you call the comic trio. You have the idea guy, the guy who comes up with the crazy plans. You have the guy who's like reluctant, but he's powerless to stop it, and then you have a third person who just sort of like silently enables the idea guy.
Yeah.
Very quickly, that's what's established to be the dynamic here. Neither of them, I don't think they like Rocky a whole lot, but he's the leader. He's the idea guy. He's definitely the reason they're here, even though he's not helping out with the work. And then a train passes by, and we get to see this what Tam was talking about. Their tails get all bushy because they're afraid, or they're startled, I guess.
And then their ears perk up too, and like all these other little like cat emotions.
Yeah.
Really cool. Yeah, they did their homework when it comes to animating cats.
And we love it.
Rocky says, for a moment, I thought it was your mom talking about the train. So he says, you know, we don't gotta worry about spirits because the spirits are all bottled up. So they carry I guess the coffin all the way over to this chest, and they crowbar it open, and we see that it's full of alcohol. They got a whole treasure trove of this stuff.
The good stuff.
Right, because it's like the Prohibition era, I think.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we see they're doing some work for a client that we're not aware of yet. But they've been tasked with collecting the good, presumably so they can sell it. But they drop one, and Rocky's like, "No, we can't waste a single drop. Go get it." And he and Freckle, they have a little tussle on the floor trying to find it. So Rocky tells Ivy, "Go get the flashlight so we can see." They're struggling to look for it. They're having a little back and forth. She turns on the flashlight, and finally they can see. But we cut back to Ivy, and we see that the light is not coming from her flashlight. It's coming from a car behind her. Very, very bright headlights. And out of the car comes these cats with guns. Yeah, they waste no time. They immediately start shooting. Ivy's like, "Oh shit, guys, get in the car." It's a lady cat who's firing away. She's having a good time. She's laughing. The driver, he's like, "Looks like we got a live one." And the lady cat says, "The chase is the best part." In the back seat of the bad guy car is a black cat, and he says, "Let's not prolong this. This is a trifling matter. We have other business to attend to." So he's the serious one. The other two, they are having the time of their lives chasing our team of heroes. So our good guys make a clean getaway. Well, they don't make a clean getaway. They're driving backwards. Rocky says, "Where did you learn to drive like that?" And Ivy says, "I never learned how to drive." And he says, "You're so bad at it. You've confounded the enemy. Nicely done." Our bad guys drive a lot more competently, so they catch up in time. So Rocky turns to Freckle and he says, "We need a performance from you, Torpedo Boy." And he pulls out a big old rifle. And Freckle's like, no, I can't do this. But Rocky insists. He said, "Play us a symphony." So the bad guys start shooting. They destroyed the back window. They risk damaging the goods. So Rocky, like, he steps out. He's like, no, stay with me. And he ends up falling out of the car. He's hanging on to the back of the truck, trying not to die. And the driver of the bad guy car, he says, "Well, I guess this is their bait." So he starts closing in. It's not looking good. But then, out the back seat comes Freckle. He's laughing maniacally. He's in the zone now. He's firing away. He's taken out their windshield. Rocky is very invested in making sure this alcohol isn't damaged, so he uses his tie to sort of keep the lid shut and makes his way back into the car. And And our bad guys, they're kind of surprised by the onslaught they just faced, but then they just smile and start laughing like, oh, now things are getting interesting.
Like this is just cake for them at this point. Is why I feel like they assume it.
It's a really fun chase sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like seeing how Freckle just like under pressure, Freckle has like it gives the idea of like, oh, under pressure, Freckle doesn't have a different side to him.
Yeah, he's definitely riding the adrenaline right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, our bad guys, you can tell they're professionals because this is just a game to them. One of them
Yeah.
swallows a bit of glass, and he's like, "Nope, it's just some glass. I can shake it off." And
That was so crazy to me.
Yeah.
yeah, man, I don't know how you survived swallowing a shard of glass.
Like he makes it seem like this was a daily thing. Like he wakes up in the morning like, ooh, I'm gonna have a bowl of glass for breakfast today.
Yeah, he thought it was a
Oh my
bug, and
God.
then the lady bad guy, her name is Seraphine. She says, "Oh, you got a big fat baby for dinner? No fair." And he says, "Nope, just a bit of glass." Um, the black cat, serious man in the back seat. He's backseat driving. He says, "This is extremely unprofessional." And Seraphine's like, "Hey, you know, if you don't like how we play, why don't you stop spectating and throw your hat into the ring?" And she says, "Or do we have to worry about you getting sentimental about old times?" And then he pulls out a handgun he has hidden in his sleeve. You know, he's got fire too. But he declines from driving. He says, "No, especially now that you have alleviated of our windshield." So he's sort of he's sort of along for the ride. He doesn't really approve of the way they do things, but I get the impression that he's on a job. We're back with Freckle. He's firing away. He's gone feral at this point. Like he's snarling, laughing. He takes out their car. And then the black cat, his name is Mordecai. He steps out. He aims, and whenever this guy aims his gun, there's this intense like clock ticking sound. It's really cool. I think at one point the aspect ratio also changes. Um, he gives off the impression that he's very much like a one shot, one kill type of person. He's like a cold sniper.
I mean, it's kind of that whole sequence, like you said, the sound and then even the ratio changes and everything. It's so intense.
Yeah.
It shows how, and especially without a sniper rifle, I feel like this is actually pretty cool because he's using that little pistol. I think a revolver. I think he's using.
Yeah.
But he's using that little. He's using such a little gun, but you can tell he has great aim. And this is, of course, this isn't his first time doing this, of course. But
Mhm.
I feel like this is pretty cool because like, when do you usually see like good gunsmen shooting so far away with small weapons, basically, kind of thing, and especially not automatic weapons? Um, I liked it a lot. It makes it feel like he has his own little like ability, kind of, when you hear that clock ticking.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
actually a really good point. It gives the impression
It's high
that
noon.
this weapon is all he needs.
Yeah,
It's very intense.
it's high noon. So I can think of all.
Yeah, and the clock ticking is really cool.
Yeah.
So he takes aim, and Rocky's like, turn left," and Ivy's like, "No, there's no left here." Then he says, "Get creative." Um, so they turn them right into what is it, like a trailer park? It says
Is
Central
it?
Stone and Quarry. I don't know what a
Were
quarry
you
is.
busy too? I thought that was like an abandoned circus or something.
Oh yeah, I think so. Anyway, they're in this big old field. They just barely escaped. Rocky's like, oh my god. He's laughing maniacally. And Ivy and Freckle are in the car. Ivy's like, hey, are you okay? And Freckle's like, rawr. And then he gets hold of himself again. He was just like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. There's a fire in the engine compartment. Oh no. Radiators catching smoke. Ivy gets right to work putting out the fire. She like tears off her sleeve to sort of like smother the flame. Knows her stuff.
Yeah.
But our team of bad guys are they're in hot pursuit. They're on foot now. Rocky's sort of making his way towards, I don't really know what, but he comes across this old warehouse and he imagines it as a circus. He flicks on all the lights because he finds like this breaker. And then he ends up illuminating the entire place so he can see that the bad guys are here. So we're back with Freckle and Ivy in the car. They're running out of ways to stop the fire. But Freckle says, you know, you take care of that. There's a gun here, right? And he finds like this very tiny pistol. It looks like a little Nerf gun. But it's all they have because the bad guys are coming and something needs to be done. So bad guys begin shooting. And Mordecai says, this is going to take longer if you scattered them. And then Seraphine says, what happened to you that made you hate fun? They have two very different approaches to this job. So Freckles, he sees them, he fires some pew-pews. And Mordecai says, I'm going to take care of him. You disable the vehicle. So the Seraphine and the guy's name is Nico. They start closing in on Ivy. And Mordecai starts closing in on Freckles. And he's clearly a better shot. But they have all these mountains of coal that Freckles can use as cover. He makes his way to sort of like a web of like scaffolding. Provides a good place to hide and sort of snipe from. But he misses. Mordecai misses him. Seraphine and Nico, they've closed in on Ivy. They're about to mess her up real good. So Freckles is like, no. But Mordecai's anticipating this. Freckles runs out of bullets, and Mordecai fires a shot, and it looks like it like nicks him in the head. He's ready to deal the killing blow. Freckles is on the floor. Mordecai is about to shoot him, but then we get some big old explosions, and it's Rocky. He's on top of a crane. He's throwing live dynamite onto the ground. He's just blowing everything up. So
this is legit my favorite part.
You want to talk about like unhinged animated characters? This guy is
Rocky is like he gives you the vibes that he might be scared eventually, but no, Rocky continues through any type of situation so far. I got from this pilot, he could be on the floor coughing his lungs up, and I feel like he would still laugh and find a solution to get himself out of that.
Yeah, he's very.
And I feel like this whole scene in the circus really made me think like it like with this pilot, with this the pilot really does is get you on the edge of the seat. Like, are you gonna get caught or you're not gonna get caught, kind of thing. And you never really know the answer to it. But like, we're in a dangerous situation. You have the two. You have Seraphine, and I forgot the big guy's name, but I like him too. But you have Seraphine, Nico. Yeah, Seraphine and Nico laughing it off, and then you got Rocky also basically laughing it off, while everyone else is trying to be serious and we're scared. You have 3 people being scared. You have 3 people basically. You have 3 cats scared, 3 cats that are like, "Oh, well, this is fun."
Yeah, you have
Nothing bad
that
that's gonna happen.
like, what the hell is this? And then Sarah
Exactly.
like, child, that's 11 kinds of stupid. So yeah,
Oh my.
Rocky's going full mad bomber. He says, "Welcome, come gather all around." He's cackling, he's throwing bombs everywhere, and at this point, everyone is hiding because he's just a danger to everybody at this point. Even Mordecai has no idea what to do here. He's just trying to get a clean shot. At that one point, a bomb lands near Seraphine, and Nico goes to tackle her, get her out of the way. These two, they care about each other.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky gets ready to throw one more bomb. It bounces off a water tower and into the compartment that he's standing in. So he's like, "Oh shit!" So he jumps out. The crane, it seems to be like stuck on acceleration because it's just going, and
Yeah.
the bomb explodes the water tower, and there's just water everywhere. Yeah, so everyone is not happy. I think Mordecai like hisses when he sees the water and he runs away.
He like hisses and then hides behind like a building or something.
Yeah,
I found that kind of
I
cute.
thought it was cute. Cats,
Yeah.
if you don't notice about cats, they're not the biggest fans of water.
Yeah. Unless you get a weird cat that really loves it, like yeah, once again, like my friend, because she has 2 cats. The bigger one doesn't like the water, but the other one likes water. Like he'll run into the bathroom just to watch the toilet flush, and sometimes he'll sit on top of the toilet waiting for someone to come in just to flush the water down. He likes to watch it, and he'll try to get in. Like I've dyed my hair in their tub, like I wash my hair in the tub to get the dye out, and he'll try to jump into it. We have to stop him before he stains himself.
That's weird.
Sometimes cats just don't have brain cells, and I'm not gonna lie, I really hope that, besides Rocky, I really hope that we get a cat in this show that doesn't have a lick of fear and just the 0 brain cell.
Yeah, I think Rocky's a closest we're gonna get to that for now. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, Ivy starts the car back again. She's like, "Hey, we gotta skedaddle." Mordecai steps up to the plate, and the aspect ratio changes. We hear the clock ticking again. He has a perfect shot of Ivy in the driver's seat, but he doesn't shoot her. He lets her get away.
I have something to say about this part, if that's okay.
Go on.
So remember when Seraphine was like, unless you something about loose ends or loose ties, something like that?
Being sentimental about old times.
Yes, there we go. Oh my gosh, I was way off. But at first, that made me think like, oh, Mordecai definitely has something with Rocky. But putting it 2 and 2, I'm not gonna lie, I really feel like it's with Alice. Not Alice, Ivy. Oh my gosh, I don't know who Alice is. Ivy.
I think so too.
And I don't want to say just because of their fur color, but I really feel like it could be it could be any type of thing. It could be related or honestly friends or so. But I sat there and thought about it. I was like, I want to see more of this because it makes me think like, who does he actually have those sentimental times with? Because for all we know, it could be Freckle as well.
Yeah,
but because I feel like yeah, it could be all of them too. But I really feel like this had me sitting here looking at. I had to pause the video to stare at it and like compare the 2 of them. and actually see what was going on. And I was like, maybe this is the reason why. But also, even though he locked eyes with her, it could have been someone else in that car that, oh, he was like, I'm going to let them go.
Yeah, there's a number of interpretations, I guess, because it's her looking back,
Mm-hmm.
like saying,
Yeah.
spare them. But yeah, they drive away. Rocky says, "Hey, I got you a souvenir." And he hands Freckle an unlit dynamite.
Oh my god.
Freckle, in a panic, he throws it out the window, and Rocky says, "You're supposed to light it first."
There's no brain cell.
Yeah. Nico, he helps up Seraphine. They were laughing. They had a fun time. I think Nico tells Rocky, "Hey, not Rocky, to Mordecai, you look disappointed." And Mordecai just gives like a grumpy face.
Mm-hmm.
They failed.
Well, I mean, they got some stuff.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, because when they, or like later, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I was talking about the bad guy team. I was saying,
Oh, the bad guys.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
they got nothing.
Yeah,
Zero.
they got.
So we cut to the speakeasy, the top floor, and we see this lady cat reading a newspaper to no one in particular, but it's made clear to us right away that this is a very tragic character, and her tragedy is twofold. She is mourning her dead husband, and she's now in charge of this company that's like it's failing because they're a speakeasy and you're in prohibition, so business is not very good. I think at one point she says, it used to be we had a whole convoy of trucks coming through this place, and now we're just scrounging for scraps. So it's not the same without you. Talking to a painting of her husband.
I think that the whole husband thing, like, from what I saw about, like, the webcomic, like, they mention more about him, but it just makes me wonder, like, that whole plot line.
And I have some knowledge about the comics, but I'm holding off until the end. Just because I'm kind of going like a first impression sort of thing for people who aren't familiar with the comic. But yeah, a lot of things make sense. If you know some, this is just like from reading wikis. I haven't read it.
Mm-hmm.
But she makes her way downstairs, and we see the speakeasy, and it's not looking too good. It's like barely any customers. The band consists of like one or two people. There's a guy strumming on the guitar, and JJ. We'll talk about JJ. He's playing the trumpet. Yeah, she heads her way to the bar, and we see like a governor type cat. The lady cat, her name is Mitzi. She says, "Hey, you could be of some help." He says, "I'm supposed to be a pillar of the community, upstanding citizen. And there's a cat next to him, and he says, "Yeah," he said, bent over his illicit beverage. It's funny, right? Because he can't help out because he's supposed to be an upstanding citizen, but here he is drinking alcohol, which is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Our bartender, his name is Victor. He's a scary man. None of the patrons want to be anywhere near him because he looks like he's more suited to be the bouncer. Mitzi tells him, I know it's an adjustment, but the bartender's got to look like someone the patronage can tell their troubles to. So it looks like he did have a different job, but he has to be bartender because there's not enough work. Um, I think at one point he's like wiping a glass and it breaks in his hand. She tells him try smiling, and he ends up like baring his fangs and growling, which just scares everyone even more. But our team of good guys arrived. They're like, yeah, we did it. We made it. I drove the car. The guys don't look particularly happy to see him. And JJ on the trombone, he goes wah wah wah, and the guy's like JJ.
We love JJ.
He's sorry.
We love JJ.
But yeah, they have a few spare bottles of the alcohol. Mitzi says this was supposed to be the real McCoy, but let's see. So she gets some glasses. They all drink up, and it tastes awful. Better than radiator oil, one guy says. But looks like this is the best they could get. Considering
Radiator
what they
oil
went
sounds
through
good.
to get this, they're probably right. Rocky says there was a minor incident, some spent ammo, desecrated graves. Freckles says desecrated graves, and then Ivy goes fractured signage, minor flooding, and lots of structural damage. And Rocky says we may have fermented a deadly rivalry on the way too, but dynamite and heavy machinery are marvelous problem solvers. And the government cat from earlier, his name is Wick. He says dynamite. What dynamite? And they're like, what? The car is fine. And Ivy says, yeah, I fixed it. Then we cut to the car breaking it down.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And Rocky says, you'll also be happy to know my violin came through unscathed. And then the string snaps. So Mitzi, she starts telling them, look, I know you did your best, but with the amount of money we have, we can't afford to keep doing this. It looks like the overall vibe is she's going to fire him. And JJ is in the background playing taps. And the music's getting louder and louder, and everyone's like, JJ. But this distracts Mixie long enough to be like, hey, you know what? I'm glad you guys are back. Why don't you head up on stage? We could all use some music besides JJ. Wick says,
Poor JJ.
Like, so about the dynamite in the machinery, can you elaborate? Rocky just says, Mr. Sable, and they all head up on stage and get ready to play. Ivy tells Freckles, hey, you owe me a dance. And Freckles like, I have a head injury.
I'm in pain.
Yeah. I think there's something between these two. They have a lot of cute moments.
Yeah, definitely.
But the last shot is Mitzi sort of standing off in the corner, and she imagines her husband putting his hand on her shoulder. And she's sort of like reliving the glory days. And that's the end of the short. It's credits after that.
This is so random, but I think I want to cosplay as Freckle.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I'm so in love with this character, like just because he's adorable.
Wait, so what's everyone's favorite character so far then? If like you chose Freckle, right?
I chose Freckle.
Yeah, let's go in a circle.
Oh, go ahead, Eve.
I mean, you can talk more about like why, like even more so why you like Freckle the most.
Oh wait, Eve first or wait, what's happening?
No,
What?
this is you.
Eve said
You're
circle, so I was
beginning the
like, go ahead.
circle.
Am I going first or are you going first, Eve?
You are beginning the circle.
Oh, okay. I'm slow. Anyways, I think I like Freckle because I don't know. I like his design already, and he was already like he's the one in the group that's very scared and shy and everything, and that makes me think of myself because I'm part of my like groups where I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. It sounds dangerous, but when it comes to like at the same time, I feel like he has an interest in having this dark side, and it makes me think of myself as well because I'm like, oh well, if you put it that way, I actually have to do this. I guess I'm gonna have to do it, and I first thought I was like maybe he has a split personality because when he pulled out that gun under pressure and just started shooting and laughing and going crazy, it gave me more thought. Maybe he became a little bit like Rocky and just did not care no more. I started thinking maybe he was hiding, kind of hiding himself for hiding that side of him or hiding himself. That's a real him basically. But we see that he's shy and just under pressure. I don't know. I found it partially adorable, then I found it also partially also really badass because like, well, I now have to do this. Never held a gun before. Gotta do it now, and he did great
Might as well
in a
have
way,
fun.
in a sense. Hmm.
Might as well have fun with it.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys seen in the credits, but like they have a section of all the production cats, I guess that they use for reference. There's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are they for reference or are they like the cats of the people who worked on it?
I don't know if they're cats of crew members or if they're for reference. I had to imagine at least some of them are. But they may very well just be like, "Hey, here's all our cats." That's fine too. That's fine.
That is honestly fun. I can I just point out because I'm looking at that part too, and like I love when people give their cats the weirdest names. Like Churro is one of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun ones. I see like Luca, Nobu, Pebbles, Figgy.
Simba.
I have a cat named Simba. I
But
have a cat
anyway,
named
Tam,
Simba
who
in
was
the
your
Oh
story.
wait, yeah.
Yes, Tam, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. Wait, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying I had a cat named Simba and I had a cat named Scar, but that was it. Go ahead.
Aw.
But yes, let's hear about you.
Oh, so I don't know. I love all the characters, and like I totally get what you say about Freckle. I think my favorite is Rocky, just because like I love the type of characters that are like unexpected. Like you have no idea what is going on in their head and what's gonna happen next.
He's a wild card.
And that like dynamite scene be insane.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's very charismatic. Excellent main
Unhinged.
character.
Unhinged, yeah.
Unhinged.
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 What about you, Eve?
Um, I'm a big fan of Mitzi actually. She seems like a character who has a lot on her shoulders. Um, I guess I'm very interested to see like how she deals in her day to day, with missing her husband on top of like trying to run this failing business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like her a lot. I think if
Yeah.
Perry was here, sorry, they would say their favorite character is I think they choose Rocky as well.
Makes sense, makes sense.
Harry gives me Rocky vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot you have to answer for Perry too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had to act for Perry.
Mhm.
That's very rude of me to assume when they're right here. Perry, who is your favorite character in Lackadaisy? Um, yeah, like you said, I really, really like Rocky. Um, I'm a big fan of his character. I like his appreciation for music and just having fun and having a good time. Um, he's a very fun character. I also really like the dynamite scene. Thank you so
Nice.
much for your input.
I totally agree with you, Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't say a whole lot, but when they spoke, it counted.
Mm-hmm.
Some I guess I'll explain some like insider knowledge I have from the comic. Um, our trio, as well as the bad guy trio, they're involved in a turf war. I guess you could have guessed that, but they're fighting over the alcohol supply. They're from a rival business. Um, Mordecai actually used to be a part of Lackadaisy, but somewhere along the line he defected. I'm not sure why, but it probably has to do with uh the reason he spared the group at the end. That probably has something to do with it. The owner of Lackadaisy, Mitzi's husband, is a dude named Atlas. Um, he died before the series, as you all know.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was the one in charge of everything before Prohibition and his death. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, any relevant info. I think that's it. Yeah, Mordecai used to be a good man. That's the important thing.
Interesting.
Now he's a bad man.
I very much want to know why it's called Lackadaisy. Because I did look up his word and
That's the name of the speakeasy.
Yeah, I was wondering why I chose that word in general, because I know it is the adjective is like lackadaisical. I thought it was pretty cool. Like lacking interest and determination. And I guess that makes sense because no, I still don't understand. But I just want to know what the I kind of want to know the author's idea of why they named it Lackadaisy.
I think I saw that they put on like their website like why they named it Lackadaisy. I can't remember what it was though, or why.
Because doesn't lackadaisical just mean like without care, that sort of thing?
Basically, basically.
Yeah.
I imagine this place used to be like somewhere people just come and unwind and just relax.
That makes sense, actually.
Makes sense.
I need more of this animation.
Yes. I saw something that I was looking into before this is like the animation side of it, and like it was like over 160 people that were like working on this, and like from what I've heard, like it was crazy how like doing this outside of like a production studio type of thing, they did everything in like Discord where like people would like post their different scenes, and like that's how they would like work together.
Really?
It's because it happened, I believe the kickstart for it happened when COVID happened, so they had no choice but to do it online, and like I don't know, the whole process is just insane.
I didn't know that. That's insane.
Yeah.
I know there was a Kickstarter for this, but I didn't know they had to like work from home pretty much.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. It's pretty bait for that though. Like the sound and everything is amazing.
Yeah, it just makes it that much more impressive.
Yeah.
So, we all fans? Lackadaisy?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Like
They need to continue.
I'm hoping it continues. I hope, because I know it says pilot, but I hope it's just not that's only the film. That's it. Like I'm hoping that they're going to continue more of that. I think what another thing this pilot really does is like a lot of pilots also like I feel like they try to state another pilots are of course introductions, and usually the episode like counts as episode 1, of course, and usually we get like the backstory of everything. I really like that we don't get a backstory here. I like that we're left to kind of insinuate what's going on and just assume who's like example like Mordecai is actually like related to or who he has the memories with exactly. I love that we have to decide that we get to learn possibly later about Atlas and everything about Lackadaisy and Speakeasy, how it started and whatnot. I'm glad that it didn't start that way. That's why I expected it to be. I expected that I thought at the beginning this was like a flashback. But I like that I like that it just threw us in there and we never knew where it's gonna go. That's where and then I mean, where Rocky's personality is really amazing is him being so like carefree, just like happy and everything, regardless of his situation. I feel like that throws off the viewers of like what's going to exactly happen next. Like, are they going to get caught? Are they going to get in trouble? Is someone going to get hurt, die, or something like that? But because we never really know, because he also helps play into that kind of like I want to call it like a trick or illusion of not knowing, basically illusion of the unknown, basically, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we're just kind of like thrown into the action for this pilot, and I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we don't need backstory right away.
Because like, yeah, sorry, because I think like doesn't like the comic like start completely differently? Like it isn't just like action; it starts like way before even like Atlas dies. I think.
Like I'm even just looking at the first page. I didn't read it yet, but I'm just skimming through the first page right now.
Mm-hmm.
I plan to read it later, but like it literally like starts with in the beginning. It starts in like 1920, and then everything like it completely different. But the pilot, and I kind of assumed the pilot would do that. I'm sorry, what did you say?
Oh no, continue. You're fine.
I was gonna say I was wonder like I thought the pilot was gonna start the same way, but no, I love that it starts that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think that it's because it's a different medium that's just how it fits better, or do you think like if whether the comic would have started like that, where it's just full on action, like would it have benefited, or is it like I don't know?
I get what
Would
you're
have
saying.
been, yeah.
I think it's definitely form a medium. I feel like with comics, you can start almost anywhere and still pull people in. Whether you're in a pilot, like introduction, like you're telling a whole story from behind, like, or if you're telling something from right in the middle of the story, because we always get the flashbacks. Especially, this can be for comics. This could be for regular, just like novels and whatnot. I feel like with writing stories, you can start almost anywhere and still pull in the audience, and then go back later, whether you kind of give hints of what the time is or you label what the time is. But when it comes to animation, I feel like you have, depending on the story of it, in my opinion, I feel like you really have to start in a certain place depending how the story goes. And for this, that comic, this adaptation of it being coming in animation, I feel like this does well because if it was the comic way, it could have been started slow as well. And I'm not saying slow is bad or anything either, but I think it does well in the form of animation of just throwing us in there because we have a lot to think about. Rather than us, instead of us getting us a backstory and then like for that to be a pilot and we're like, oh, we're left with like what's next to come kind of thing, if that makes sense. We're kind of just like left hanging, like, oh, we get this backstory, but we have no clue what we're actually but to get thrown into. But with this animation, it throws us into it, and while we still are asking the question, what's going to happen next? We know what to expect, what the story is kind of going to be about, and then what questions to ask later. Because eventually we will get that backstory. Eventually we'll get that. But right now we need it to be pulled in. The author really needed to pull us in and make us interested in it.
Yeah, I agree.
Totally agree. Yeah.
I think when it comes to like storytelling in general, the reason why I said like we don't need backstory right away is what's more important is that we need to know who these characters are now, and then we can ask questions of like, oh, I wonder how he got here. like
Yeah.
Mordecai.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in his backstory because the character at present pulled me in.
Yeah. This is so slightly off the topic. I'm so, as you can, when you asked us how much do we love the show or if we love it, I'm so in love that I'm already like looking up and planning outfits for Freckle.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome though.
Yes, and it's like it's not a hard thing. It's really sweater vest, dress business casual, and I don't really do that. But I'm like, this is going to be cute. I think the most thing probably would be expensive is me. Like, I kind of want to buy. I don't want to get up and dressed up in like wear a what's it called? Like I don't want to dress up into a fursona like suit. But I definitely would like to get like boots and everything that match like his feet orange and get gloves that match orange. Kind of just go off, make an outfit based off him.
Just wear his clothes.
I'm seeing, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of actually cosplay. I didn't know that this is a popular comic. It has a lot of cosplay going on too for it too.
Yeah, it's been around since like 2014? Question.
Really?
Long time.
Wow.
Yeah. It's got a huge fan base. I heard that when they did the Kickstarter, like they had like a goal of like 80,000 or something like that to raise to make this animation. And like within like a day they passed
Oh
the
yeah,
amount
they
that they
like
needed.
surpassed their goal right
Oh,
away.
Yeah,
that is
there's like a huge fan base.
amazing.
I know.
It's so amazing. Oh my gosh.
I guess it's a testament to how great the comic is.
It's always nice seeing like more indie like comic artists and like other even like animators like to get such a big enough fan base that it actually becomes a thing instead of like having to worry about getting picked up by a production company and stuff like that.
Hmm. And then that way also, do you also they also because a lot of times when you work with another company, you don't get full reign of how you want things to go. Sometimes they'll change it. So it's actually pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool to be the lead of your own series and just continue going off it because a lot of shows don't get that. That made me think like not to change it off the subject of it, but like for example, I don't know if you could well, Eve, I think you watched it, but Tam, I don't know if you watched it, but Heartstopper. Alice Osman, I like, a lot of people were worried that she would when she started working with Netflix that she was not going to be able to actually make the show connect to our comic, and it sucks that you have to think about that. It really sucks that you have to think about that and not be able to actually have your series go the way it's supposed to go, whether it's adapted into an animation or not, or whatever it might become. It sucks that someone else had to take over it. But that's why I think it's really amazing that the fans are very dedicated and the fans really love like how much the fans support Tracy J. Butler for this comic because she deserves it, honestly, or they deserve it, honestly.
I just like to see
Yeah.
fresh blood in like the animation space. Like we have all these like
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
studios. Yeah, we need some indie work, and the animation is spectacular. Like I've been telling people like this should make Disney like sweat a little bit. This is really good. Um Apparently there's a post-credit scene that we missed also. I just wanted to go over that briefly.
Oh,
Wait, yeah.
I watched it, but I sat there and I was like, you didn't talk about it, so I thought you were waiting to talk about it.
No, I actually forgot.
Oh my
I
gosh.
forgot to
You
watch
got
it on my
distracted by the
rewatch.
cats.
I did get distracted by the cats. I forgot
Um,
to watch it on my rewatch too for this show. It's very brief. It's just like Mordecai and bad guys. They're at a payphone. Um, he's like, "Can you connect me to Mr. Sweet, please?" And he's talking to Big Boss Man on the phone, and he's saying like, our car was disabled. We didn't get anything. Mission failed. This has not gone to plan. And the guy's like, okay, let me see if I have this correct. You, infamous hitman Mordecai, is calling me to ask for a ride. And Mordecai just says, yes. And everyone, he starts laughing over the phone. He says, "What am I, your dad?" And Mordecai's doing his best to keep this serious. He's like, "We have a situation." And he goes, "What? Did someone mess up your hair? Did you get a little dirt on you?" He says, "As a matter of fact, yes. But more to the point, one of our suppliers is double dealing to those people at Lackadaisy. They're clumsy and they like to draw attention. With the feds in town, and boss man gets serious. He says, yes, this is a liability. We can only do the best we can before the whole city starts smoldering." And he says it's time to tie up some loose ends. So, it might not be looking too good for our heroes.
Oh no.
And this pulls it closer. Like, who are they talking about? Who are they tying loose ends with? Who is the dealer? Double dealing?
Yeah.
Well, at one point, Mitzi says we got a new supplier, so
Oh yeah, you're right.
it might be them. Oh, I'm just seeing now. The last shot is Mr. Wick. He's looking at his field, and it's like destroyed from all the bombs going off, and he's just standing there with his hat in his hand, like, oh no. That was a fun little payoff to that joke. Because
I loved
he was like,
everything about
wait,
this.
what dynamite? What machinery?
Yeah. And then he's
Yeah.
like,
It's his
well,
company.
what the fuck happened to my place?
Yeah.
Also,
But yeah, I think that's good and good enough coverage for Lackadaisy, unless you guys had something else you want to add.
I can't think of anything besides, like, I'm just excited for more, and part of me is like, I should start reading the webcomic when we're done, but at the same time I'm like, no, I don't know what I want to do more.
Honestly, I'm just excited for this this weird surgence of animation is not just for kids. Like this goes over themes of violence as obviously as you can see, and there are other indie animations that are coming out showing that oh, there's a lot of cool animation coming out in a different age range.
That is true.
Yeah.
And to go off from that too, like you were saying, animation not for just for kids, and it shouldn't be. And I would say it shouldn't be because people say cartoons or even add like any type of genre of anime, not genre of anime, but like country origin of anime. Well, yeah, genre too, but yeah, like people see them like, oh, well, you're a child for watching it, and it's like no. But Lackadaisy is such an animation of what children will look at, but you can tell it's not a child show.
Yeah.
Or at least like it's more of a kind of adultish, but maybe a teen show, but even webtoon. But you can tell like it has that childlike animation, and that also like goes to say that animation shouldn't have to be designed in like a more of adultish way to be adultish. It should be the artist should be able to draw it as as whatever form they want to draw it in, basically, and then the audience can be who they still give it to. But the animation should not have to choose the audience, kind of, if that makes sense. Set for a specific audience, kind of.
Exactly. And just because it's cats, like you said, you at first glance, maybe it would seem like it's for kids because it's these cute little cats doing things, but it doesn't have to be I don't know, overly realistic or anything to be a good animation in that field. I guess if that makes sense.
Yeah.
For children doesn't have to mean that it is childish.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the topic I wanted to move into, since we already got the ball rolling, is I wanted to know what are some of your guys' favorite pieces of animation, either just stuff you've been inspired by, stuff you watch in your childhood, anything cool you've seen recently, because I think we're all here appreciators of animation, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to open up that discussion. And it's sort of sort of just celebrate animation in general.
Makes sense.
Shall we go in a
Oh.
circle?
Yeah, does anyone like to
We can
start?
again.
Or I could go first.
Tam, you didn't get to start first.
All right.
Tam, you've been
Okay.
volunteered.
Okay. So like I volunteer as tribute, okay, for this time. So like let's see, in like childhood, like I feel like it's a lot of the stuff that like was on like Disney or Cartoon Network that like inspired me. Like I used to watch a lot of like Danny Phantom and like Kim Possible and like um Ben 10, like stuff like that. And then like now I'm kind of like stuff like Bee and Puppy Cat and like a lot of like the others. I remember you guys did a podcast episode on that animation with like Brandon Rogers. What is
Oh my gosh. Hasbro Hotel?
Oh yeah, it was hell of a bunch.
the
No.
other one? Yeah.
Son of. Yeah, there we go.
I've been like ever since like I saw your guys' podcast on that, I was like, huh, I kind of want to check it out. And like it's definitely I watched the whole thing up to the
Seriously?
recent episode. But yeah.
Wow. What do you think?
Because honestly I really like it. Like it's because like I've never seen an animation like this before. Or at least me personally. Like it's like I don't know, it's like it takes itself seriously, but at the same time, like there's so many funny moments. I don't know, it's just interesting. It's a different genre I've like dived into, I guess. But yeah, does anyone else who would like to go next about their favorite like animations and stuff?
Tesana, you have been chosen.
I've been chosen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's so hard to think, honestly, because so much animation I've been seeing. Because growing up same thing as Tam, I was watching Danny Phantom, SpongeBob, stuff like that. As you can see, my picture is definitely Patrick, but holding a puzzle piece. But I was heavily inspired by that animation a lot more. But then like as I went along, I don't know where I still stand for animation. Like as far as like I can't choose one I just love. I haven't watched Bee and Puppy Cat, but one definitely takes the cake for most of it. I love how cute animation is. But if I ever wanted, I feel like I think oh my god, is it called the Invincibles? I think that one.
The superhero one.
Yes, it makes me think of the it makes me think of Justice League. I almost said League of Legends. Maybe it thinks of Justice League, and I really like that type of animation. I feel like that type of animation, if I ever get any of my stories actually animated, I would love for it to be in that type of animation. So I really much fall in love with that one. Even if it because a lot of my stories fall into like action, fantasy, and whatnot, and I feel like that will be the perfect animation for it. Yeah, that's where I just love it.
Invincible's very gory. Is that the studio you're talking about?
Yeah, and I think that's where like even if it was like the same studio that does like the DC animated movies, I would fall into that because a lot of my stories are dark and whatnot.
Yeah.
So they would I don't want them to be exactly cutesy too much. I go into more of a creepy like style kind of thing. That gave me like a lot of gore style. Another one I could think of is probably one of my favorite animations is Junji Ito. I love how creepy his stories are, and I love. But they did they did the old animation, but they did a new animation. And while the story for the new animation is, it could be a lot scarier. I love how creepy everything looks in there, and it just looks beautiful. If you guys were to look at my webtoon list, you would see like a bunch of cute stuff, and then if I at the very bottom, there's probably just like nonstop creepy, creepy just webtoons on there.
I'm laughing.
That's just
sweet.
I was about to say, yo,
Yeah.
me and a friend, we started watching the animated anthology on Netflix, and then I remembered that you introduced us to that.
I didn't finish it. There's an old anthology, actually, older one I didn't know about. I need to find it. But if I had to choose, like my animations would be between like probably Junji Ito stuff, but also like DC Justice League, I guess, or slash Invincibles like kind of animation. It just looks cool to me. How everything looks very smooth, and it just fits the crime fighting very much, and the gore as well.
I like Invincible.
It also has like some, yeah. And just to add my last point, I will say that type of animation also has type of comical sense to it. I don't know what it is. When I look at it, I'm like, oh, this is going to be funny. They're going to have jokes in this for some odd reason. It just has some type of comical feel to it.
I think like I want to see if I can try to understand. Like when you look at like Teen Titans, everyone
Mm-hmm.
is the models are very, they're very proportional. They're like realistic enough, but
Yeah.
animation lends enough like fluidity to for people to make like, funny faces and um everyone to go like chibi or like warped. It gives it like a fun like comic book feel that doesn't feel too cartoony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eve, I volunteer you. Well, I do value, but I volunteer you as tribute.
Been volunteered.
I guess I could go. I've loved animation for a really long time. What I would do as a kid, like we had a DVR, and when I would watch like animated shows, what I would do is I would pause and then go frame by frame to look at like all the individual like animation frames, and I was like, man, somebody drew that. And like when you see the final product, and it's like, oh, that looks really cool. um I think for a while there I wanted to, make my own animated show. And I don't know if I would want to be like doing the actual animation, but like heading a show or like writing for a show like that, that's still something that I can see myself doing. um
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've watched all of the Disney channels and the Cartoon Networks and the Nickelodeons. Um, my inspirations, in terms of like style, um, I guess the art styles that I'm most attached to, that's gonna be like Powerpuff Girls and My Life as a Teenage Robot. Um, I really think that show is incredible in terms of like character design. I think it still has the best like robot design in animation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you look at like the production notes and like how to draw Jenny and like her various transformations. Um, you can tell the animators just have fun, like giving her all these like gadgets and gizmos. Um, I think it's really cool. Nowadays, I'm very inspired by like I guess like the ethereal, like pastel look of like being Puppy Cat and dare I say Steven Universe. Like I have mixed feelings about that show, but I still think the animation is gorgeous. Um, it's an incredible looking show. Uh,
Mm.
Gravity Falls. That's also really neat. Very good looking show.
Yes.
Gravity Falls, yes.
Um, Avatar. That's still like my favorite show ever made. Uh, it's probably the best show I've seen in my life. Um, it's always gonna be my favorite, but that's more for the storytelling than like the animation. I'll give credit to other
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
shows for like animation style. Um, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's my favorite movie of
Oh
all time.
yes.
A good 50% of the reason is the animation. Um, my thesis was pretty much writing about how that movie was animated and why it's so awesome. And I'm just very attached to Spider-Man, the character. Uh, Growing up, I watched Spectacular Spider-Man on Disney XD. It's probably my favorite of the animated shows. Um, I guess the most recent example of really good animation. I really, really enjoyed Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I don't know if you guys
Okay.
have seen it.
I haven't.
I haven't yet.
Well, without spoiling it, it's an incredibly written movie. It's like the perfect example of like something that can appeal to kids just because of how like it's a silly cartoon about cats, but there's a lot for adults to chew on in terms of like themes and the stuff you take away from the theater. And the animation is also incredible. It's very reminiscent of Spider-Verse. I'm glad that that's a style that animation studios are starting to adopt. They're not quite stealing it. It doesn't feel like I'm watching Into the Spider-Verse. It feels like its own thing. Um, they do the thing where they animate on twos for like fight sequences. It looks kind of like choppy, but it allows you to like accentuate certain frames. It's kind of hard to explain without like a demonstration, but
I get what you mean, though.
Mm-hmm.
every frame of these movies look like they could be a wallpaper or like a comic book panel. The Bad Guys, another DreamWorks movie, they did this too. One that I also saw, and I'm just glad that we're slowly moving away from like the Play-Doh people of like Pixar and Disney, because for a while there, every animated movie was looking the same for a bit. Um, Now studios are starting to have more fun. They're getting more stylized. They're sort of like they're using 3D animation to explore like 2D animation techniques like squash and stretch and smear frames. Um, we're entering like a almost like a golden age of 3D animation. I think it's incredible. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Everyone says this, but it's true. Like animation as a medium deserves more respect. Like too many
Yeah.
people treat it as like a genre. Like, oh, animation, that's like kids movies and stuff like that. It's like, no, animation is a medium that you can tell any story, any kind of story in. Um Horror, romantic comedy. It doesn't even like need to be action or like fantasy. It can be any genre,
Yeah.
and I hope we see like more variety of genres being used in like animation. I don't even mind if it's like a movie of a guy like going about his day to day. He meets a girl, they fall in love, there's drama, and it's all just animation.
Yeah.
I'd
Mm-hmm.
still watch that movie because at the end of the day, it's a medium. It's a way you can use to tell any kind of story you want.
Yeah, that's kind of like how in anime they have like slice of lives and like it's so cool that people are exploring more with like different genres because we really do need that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the place that animation is in right now, and anyone with the ability to animate, if they, excuse me, they get a talented enough team of writers and like production people, they can make their own like studio level animation. Like when you look at like Lackadaisy or like Hell of a Boss, these are things that these are properties that are not owned by like a studio. These are just made by a group of like dedicated people, and the animation is spectacular, and it feels like a crime that we get to see this for free on YouTube.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true. Like all of this is like just being put out and like the public on YouTube and stuff, and it's like it's crazy.
It's all just because they have a passion for the craft. I think that's awesome. We need more of that.
It's
Yeah.
very amazing. Because honestly, they could be making money off it by doing something else, but regardless, like I feel like they're having Patreon supporters and whatnot. They still make their of course, they still meet whatever goals they might want. They might set for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad. Like in the end of the day, you still have supporters. You might not have that big animation studio, but you definitely have supporters that will continue to support you. And while you're providing entertainment, they're providing you all their love and support. I feel like at the end of the day, like when you really love an artist or author or artist in general, like you just go beyond support and just like they're providing you happiness because eventually their art becomes that happiness for you, becomes something you wake up for and everything. You're just like, oh, I can't wait for this.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
increasing the amount of enjoyment in the world. Like, look at the passion
Mm-hmm.
behind the Lackadaisy fan base. Like,
Yeah.
their Kickstarter goal was, I think it was like, I want to say 50,000, and then they made like almost 3 times that at the least,
Yeah.
in not a short time at all.
Do you think that do you think that animations made with like the bigger companies, then do you think that the passion between do you think that the passion for those are as equal to the ones that are like more indie projects?
Um, it's hard to draw a line, but I think when it comes to depending on like who's working in these studios and who's at the top, I guess there's a lot of factors that go into it, but I've noticed, especially with Disney, like over time, that passion kind of like dilates as it gets more and more profitable to just do the same thing over and over. Um, I guess I have a very cynical attitude towards Disney in general because I see studios like Sony and DreamWorks doing all these fun stuff, showing passion for the medium, and I see like Disney like doing what's safe and what's guaranteed to make a profit, and I just don't feel that same level of passion. I believe it was there at one point, but not so much now.
I feel that way, especially when like um I think there was a show recently that got canceled. It makes me think of all the animations that got canceled in order to support their other like stuff. Like I think
Oh yeah.
there was a Netflix show that got like canceled and everyone was like filling out like support like
Oh,
I forgot what it was
are you
called.
talking about
I forgot
Infinity
what's
Um
called too,
Train?
but I think I know what you're talking about too. Hmm?
Are you talking about Infinity Train?
yeah. Um
I guess that wasn't
I don't think
no,
Netflix.
it's
That
but
was
Lady
HBO
Train,
Max.
or was it?
I already forgot the name. um but just I'm just talking in general like it makes me so
Was it
mad
Inside
when like
Job?
oh yeah, Inside Job,
There
yes.
we go.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like it
That was a
makes me
thing.
so mad when like when all these like really great shows end up getting canceled because they want to have another season for like I don't know some like other
Riverdale.
show and it's like yeah Riverdale and it's like man
When everyone winds up being also like all these other shows are already popular, so why would you kind of cancel that for that? It kind of sucks.
it,
And especially sometimes they'll do it just for to add new shows on there. They don't even know how the new show's gonna do. It's like the
yeah
Yeah, there's
production wants it
patterns,
out there.
especially with Netflix, of like putting a bunch of new shows, failing to market them properly. Some of them might actually be good, and then canceling them, and then just posting another season of Riverdale. Just it's like, why do anything new at that point? Like, why take risks?
right I don't know the whole industry is just it's interesting but I don't know I am also thankful for the shows in our childhood like Teen Titans and stuff but it's like I don't know. It's just it's such a weird route when it comes to like making animation and then getting it published and like it's such a big operation.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's there's still animation from our childhood that like got the recognition they deserve, and they got to finish, and I'm happy about that.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a long history of like animated shows just getting the shaft. Like I talked about this with Tess briefly, like even Steven Universe, like as horrendous as some of the show is, like some of it is not executive producer's fault. Like a lot of it
Yeah.
is like Cartoon Network like meddling and making these like bizarre decisions of how to market a show that's like really really popular. Um they started doing this thing where the show would go on. If you were part of the fan base at the time, you'd know like the show was infamous for going on constant hiatuses, and they'd be absurdly long. The longest one I
Jeez.
think was like 6 months, and it was especially frustrating because the show had ended on a cliffhanger, and fans, they started getting frustrated. It worked for a little bit because like whenever the show would come back, even if the episode was very poor or like mediocre, it would still get a lot of hype because they were excited to just have anything. But people just stopped tuning in eventually because they just stopped waiting for the story to end. They got tired of waiting. And
Yeah.
I to this day I don't understand why this is the network's decision for one of their most popular shows.
Right?
Yeah, the medium deserves more respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm hoping the trend of like, or I guess webcomics turning into animated shorts or shows even. I hope that becomes a trend that continues because I'd really like to see Cucumber Quest get turned into a show. It's my
All
favorite
right.
webcomic.
What is Cucumber Quest?
Um, it's a story about a boy whose destiny is to stop an ancient evil, only he doesn't want to. He wants to go to magic school, but everyone's like, "No, you're the chosen one. Has to be you." And then he has a little sister who would better be suited for the job, truthfully, but she's the hero's little sister, so she's not allowed. it's
Okay, gotcha.
it's a really fun story about like characters who are really bad at the roles they've been placed in by like destiny and stuff like that. It's also very emotional and poignant, and it's very beautifully drawn. It's probably my number one inspiration in terms of like art style. uh if
Mm.
if you haven't gotten a chance to read it, I say check it out. It's really good, and it's on hiatus right now, so this is the perfect time.
The art style is so cute. I like how colorful it is. It's my 2 cents.
Have you gotten a chance to read it, Tam?
I haven't, but I will say when I was scrolling through it, I do remember I used to watch like voiceovers, not voiceovers,
Oh,
like
dubs.
when
They got dubs.
yeah, like on YouTube, I think a while back. And so I have seen a little bit of it and I'm like it wasn't until I was flipping through when I was like, holy crap. But I have to read it. No, definitely.
Yeah, the art style is what drew me in, but I wasn't ready for how good the story would be.
I love that. It's like there's so many shows with like very like nice designs like that, like very simplistic, very cute designs. And then like it's so like serious and like has like those like really heartfelt moments, like unexpected. I really like those.
Yeah, it was always good, but like seeing it evolve over time, it's just so seamless. Like it gets so complex, but then the style is able to like remain simple.
Mhm.
We're coming up on the 2 hour mark here, so is there anything else
Been
you
two
guys wanted to
hours?
add?
Oh my gosh.
Been 2 hours?
Yep,
What?
1:53 is the time.
Oh, that's crazy. Um, I oh, a recommendation for another animation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, definitely is kind of it's not on hiatus per se, but definitely does slowly release like on Netflix. What's it called? Oh my gosh, The Dragon Prince. Dragon Prince is a very good like
Oh,
animation. It has kind of more of a definitely a 3D feel, and it's very great. And the story wise is very great. The recent season was a little slow, but people like it's more of a I will say more of a filler, but still good. but there's like a lot to come for that. I feel like a lot of people who like Lackadaisy, like the mystery of things and everything too, and stories. That's something very great to watch. And then because I feel like there's not enough 3D animation going on, and like I feel like it's slowly still becoming a big thing where some animes or some shows use both 2D and 3D, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And my other recommendation, if you really like gory and mysterious anime, is Agent Demi-Human. It's all 3D, and that was the introduction to me liking actual 3D animation as well. And I feel like that's a really great Japanese 3D animation.
Isn't Dragon Prince made by the Avatar people?
I believe so because one of the main character is Sokka's actor,
Sokka, yeah.
and it's like
Really?
this is. I'm sorry, Tam, were you going to say something?
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you.
Oh yeah, and this not spoiled at all, but it's like you get some things of like Avatar in it because of because of him. So sometimes you might get a joke about Avatar or something here and there. So I think it's pretty cool to like sit there and listen out for those.
While we're talking about Netflix animation, guys, watch Arcane. It's
Yes,
incredible.
watch Arcane. Yes,
Much
yes,
about
Beautifully
it.
animated and beautifully written.
exactly. And overall, like even if you just watch, if you're not big into League of Legends, not saying you have to play it, definitely like because I never played League of Legends, but I was always interested in the characters before Arcane came out. It's definitely a great idea to look at how the characters look in League of Legends as well as read their backstories, even if you don't play the game, because I'm not saying the animation for the game, like not everyone's cup of tea, but the character designs of the actual art of the characters in League of Legends is amazing. I would play it if it had different playstyle, but Arcane was like kind of just my cup of tea because I liked watching the characters. I like seeing them and hearing their voices and seeing their backstory. But I think it's pretty so cool to check out the actual game and just look at the backstory on there too and see how many characters actually fit together.
It is my second favorite animated show after Avatar,
Mm-hmm.
and this is coming from someone who has never played League of Legends and did not know
Mm-hmm.
that this was even based on League of Legends. So, if that's I think that's all the testament you need.
It's really good. You don't even have to be in League of Legends to like it. Like it's just really good. It can be separate from it, honestly, but it still does base it off of it, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
I'm
amazing.
definitely adding this to my list. I keep hearing about it, and I definitely want to watch it. The visuals, every time I see like art or like from it, I just like it looks so pretty.
Damn, how have you not seen it?
I don't know. I've been going through all the other animations, I guess.
Very busy checking out the animations, I'm sure.
This is amazing. This has been a fun time.
Um, Anything else you guys would want to add?
Um, I really just want to say if you not only like the animation of Lackadaisy, definitely check out the webtoon, as I'm going to start reading it myself too. But please also always do your best to support artists, whether it's writing, whether it's comic, it's art, like actual drawing and whatnot, singing, whatever it is. Always do your best to definitely support those artists because it's amazing to see how far they will come, and they will always appreciate your support. They're not greedy for it as well, if that makes sense. But any support. It doesn't have to be money. It just be viewing. A lot of them make money off of just the viewing and everything too. And I just think it's amazing how far such art as Lackadaisy has come this far. It's been out for so long, as I'm learning now from you guys, and now it comes so far where it can actually have a show, especially on YouTube. But it'll be amazing how far that support goes to see this thing on TV, honestly, or even like on I don't know any type of streaming service would be amazing. But always support your artists, basically. I want to say, honestly.
Yeah, no, totally. I giving support, even just like sharing and like letting other people know. Like I really want them to make this into a series, guys. So please support Lackadaisy and your other artists.
We'll be providing links to Lackadaisy, the shorts, and their Patreon or however they make money in the description, as well as any like non-studio things, be it animation or webcomics that we talked about today.
Yeah.
All right. Tesana, why don't you plug yourself, tell everyone what you do, where you can be found, why they should subscribe/follow you.
Hi, I'm Kasana. I am I mean, working wise, I do retail, but honestly, me, Eve, and Tam went to the same college. We went to Arcade University, and I was majoring in English creative writing. I love poetry and making fancy stories. While I have never really completed any of my stories besides my thesis, I'm working on a poetry collection, which is full of vulnerability, and I feel like it's meant to teach people that it's okay to be vulnerable. Not all of my writing is posted on Instagram, but you can be on Instagram on like I'm trying to think of the handle. Oh, it's pronounced can't test this, but it's CNTTESSTHS, I think. Or if you just type in Tasana Aurora or I'm sorry, Eve.
I was saying the link will be in the description.
Yeah, you can definitely add to the description, yeah, because that'll be a lot easier because I can't remember my own handle. But it'd be amazing if you guys could follow and also support my writing if you definitely like it. I plan to hopefully make my writing into a place where people can just find a safe space in it. And this poetry collection is something very special to me, as I want it to help me as well be more vulnerable with everybody. And it's helping me overcome a lot of things with mental health. And that's like my specialty with writing. So, yay.
All right. And Miss Tam, where are you? What do you do? What are you up to? Why should people
Where
follow you?
am I?
Sell your
Where
stuff.
are you?
That's a good question. I don't even know the answer to that. But that aside, so I'm Tam, and I do cute little art sometimes and like little animations. Like I don't think I could get to the level of Lackadaisy, but like I'm starting small. I'm making tiny little things, and I have an Instagram. It's just Tamgrada, TAMGRADA, and like if you want to check out some of my stuff, that'd be cool.
Yep. Check out Tam's art. Links to both of these fine people will be in the description. But
And then if you want to check out that old podcast of myself and our two other friends, you can put that in the description.
To jump off point as well.
Yes.
You'll see how I got my start podcasting. But it's very nice to have both of you on, Haters Without a Cause. You two are honorary haters now. Tell all your friends.
Would definitely love to be back on this, and even if we don't talk about Lackadaisy, I hope that we can talk about it again, though.
For sure. If anything comes up, anything you guys want to talk about, you're in now. You're in the group, so feel free to let me or Perry know. And similarly, if something comes up, I think you guys will be interested in, we'll call you.
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
Be amazing.
But yeah, thank you guys. Very lovely to have you on the show. I think we're gonna end it here. Is there anything else? Any last words?
Thank you guys for having
Yeah,
us.
thank you.
Thank you, Perry. Thank you, Eve.
Oh, right. Yeah, Perry, say goodbye to our guests. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. You guys are always welcome. I agree, Barry. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Those watching at home, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Haters Without a Cause, and we will see you next time, hopefully with Perry, the real Perry. What are you talking about? I'm right here. Of course, of course. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.